Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm going to fire you for spending $25 of allotted meals prices on GrubHub for laundry detergent. Obviously, that's all just a joke. Even I'm not. Anyways, my name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that billionaires get a little sensitive on how their staff is running their operation. I mean, listen, Mr. Zuckerberg, do you want to go to all the small cities that you fired all of these people from that are utilizing their. I mean, I was having this conversation recently with my roommate, right? We're talking, and what I don't understand, and I think it's hard to understand if you're not like younger or you're not familiar with how food delivery apps work. You know, we're in 2024 and DoorDash will bring you Panda Express as well as a birth control stick. This is true. I mean, this happens. Meaning these food delivery service platforms, DoorDash, GrubHub, Postmates, they all offer delivery in more than just the food category. So it's interesting when the guy who is responsible in lots of ways for how social media is or has been, the infrastructure of it has been built. How can you not know? I mean, unless there's a rule. And this is what I was talking about. So, like, going back to that joke, I think it's funny. This is one of the wealthiest people in the world. Remember, there are billions of people in the world. I'm not the math guy around here, but I know that statistically speaking, that's got to be a very small part of the global population. I know that, yeah, I think there's somewhere around 4,000 known billionaires, and probably double to triple that if you include other kinds of wealth from other undisclosed sources. And so, I mean, keeping all of that in mind, I just feel like when rich people complain about poor people and whether what they choose to do with a credit that's given to them on a delivery app, it's nitpicky at best. And I don't think that anybody under the age of 40 really kind of understands why he would do that, why the press would be talking about it. Again, it's because in traditional employment, it would be very unkind and misleading for an employee to use what money they're given specifically for food, if that's what they're told, on something else. That's obviously a violation of whatever kind of agreement has been set forth. The people that have been fired, from my understanding, have attorneys because it is not, if it's not explicit, then how can you control and govern a policy that's non existent? In that, wouldn't it be something to say that you have a $25 credit on DoorDash, but you can only use it for food? I mean, I think it would be worth more trouble to audit that kind of behavior from low level wage working employees than it would be to just allow that $25 credit to be used in whatever way that it could be used in accordance with the law, meaning you don't want people obviously buying alcohol and having it delivered, but that's not a thing because you ID check and all of these other really cool ways to prevent that from happening. But nonetheless, you should be able to use it on the platform. If it's $25 on DoorDash or $25 on GrubHub, you should be able to use that $25 credit on DoorDash, on GrubHub. Now that means hundreds of things. That means you could, in theory, if you're over the age of 21, order a bottle of wine. Why? Well, because it's available on DoorDash. And that policy may be a little bit not enforceable, in that it's probably against workplace law to have like alcohol delivered to your workplace unless it's some kind of party or sponsored event or whatever. So I'm just thinking to myself that it's pretty silly that a person of such affluence and influence would think that it's okay to fire people for misusing the company issued credit card on Grubhub. Forgive me one moment. Absolutely disgusting. That happens sometimes. I was practicing some singing earlier, and my voice is just starting to, well, between the two of us, it's just starting to adapt again. My voice is always doing different things, and I'm trained in that. I know how to use my voice in different kinds of ways, but it's hard when you don't like drink a lot of stuff. Anyways, so when I sound dry, it's just because I've utilized all of my cord power there or whatever. Regardless, Mark Zuckerberg is a silly man, and I am in support of the employees who got fired just simply because I think that it's not breaking the rules. If you get a credit on a food delivery app and you get things that aren't food, or you get things from a delivery app, because again, it's not just food delivery. And at this point, we all know that. So it's just weird. And I guess, I don't know, older people that do media outlets, that do media releases still, like on the internet or whatever, focus on like these really trivial things, right? Because Zuckerberg also did just launch the Meta glasses last week, too. So, I mean, I want to be talking about that, but instead, Zuckerberg is firing people for silly, silly reasons. And I just, publicly, I think you should be a little more kind to the people that work for you. And if you're not willing to provide them with the trust, if your guys would rather have some laundry detergent than get some food, then a lot's going on there. I mean, could we insinuate maybe that they're not getting paid enough and that they would forego food to get laundry detergent, which would be more helpful to them in their situation because they're not making what they need to at work, and so they might think that their employer is being gracious. It's often, quoted that Zuckerberg is one of the wealthiest people in the world, and so why wouldn't you have the full pledged support of the guy that's in charge of your ship? Like, that's just how basic shipsmanship works. I mean, I don't know. You gotta be there. And sometimes when you get to that level, that's all you gotta do. You gotta be there. And if you're not, then the entire operation is in jeopardy. And yeah, that's because of one person. And it's quite remarkable how one person can have such an impact on a business, a government, a society, all of these different things. It's interesting. I'm sure there are people who study it in great lengths. So, with the help of AI, I'm sure now. Anyways, how many, writings are generated by humans anymore? I don't really want to know the answer to that because I'm sure that it would far out exceed any kind of conservative estimate that I want to keep in my heart close to me because I want to believe in people. Yeah, so I just, it's hard to do that when billionaires are getting upset about $25 credits on delivery apps. But I guess it is what it is. There are lots of dash marts, so I don't know if you guys, this is like the other thing, and I think it's important to note too that you can get groceries now, right? Too. So it's sort of like, I mean, I just think we should be talking about larger problems then. I think people need to get paid more. That's all. And it's not Facebook's fault that people aren't getting paid more. Sure, I get that. It's the government's fault for not making it a law that companies have to pay a living wage because we're still stuck in the 90s on a minimum wage. Big difference between minimum and living. Like, huge difference. A living wage allows people to live their life. A minimum wage is the sad excuse that old school capitalists use to exploit your human self for their own gain. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, let's just continue to watch this channel. I appreciate you guys joining me very, very much. I'm not going to lie. completely forgot. Oh yeah, Zuckerberg and the meal credits. Forgot what I was talking about there, but we're ending the video now and I think I have to sneeze. So I'm going to end this before any other bodily functions occur as I'm trying to stream a video here to post on YouTube. You guys take care of yourselves and I'll see you really soon. Bye.